nothing.
Where's it Megan Brown Sanders? See, here's my thing. I do this thing where I'm so used to seeing somebody's name on social. Whenever I say the whole thing in my head all the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Even if it's like a weird name, it could be like Cool Mo D, Chuck. I'm going to say that in my head every time I see that. I'm going to associate them with what they have on like Facebook
Sure.
or Instagram or something. I'm sure. So, and I know with women, they do like their maiden name and they'll just put that on there. But some people keep that and they actually go by that.
Nope.
So I don't know.
I'm not a hyphenator.
Oh, you're just Megan Sanders then.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah. That's just so people can find me on social media when they're still looking for Megan Brown.
So all of that to say, Megan Sanders.
Here I am.
What's up?
Good things.
Good things.
Exciting things.
I know, lots of exciting things. Yeah, a whole lot going on here. I love cryotherapy.
Good.
I first came into the Chesterfield location. Mm-hmm. You guys are since moving to another location. But before you're moving to another location there, you expanded here.
We did.
And
yeah.
you have a sick-ass location here. It's like really nice.
Thanks.
And like you have a big relaxing space, like where people can like, you have like this lounge area here. You got the inversion tables. You didn't have the inversion tables at the other place, did you?
No.
I love do you use them?
I do.
I love the inversion. It's
I'm
like,
huge. We came into this location in March 2018.
Yeah.
Kind of on a whim.
Really?
It was really fun. Like
Yeah.
Matt, the owner of Project Deliverance, we're connected to Project Deliverance for people who haven't been here before. You don't access the gym. A lot of people think they have to walk through a gym to get to the recovery lounge, and that's been a challenge for us, different than our Chesterfield location. That's a standalone.
Yeah.
But
this is the front of the business.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually see us before you see the gym. You have to walk through our area.
Yeah, through you to get to the gym.
Exactly, which is great to see people on the way to the gym duck their head and run past us sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we just want to get a workout in. I'm
They're
like,
feeling guilty.
I'll see you when you're out. Exactly. My thing is, I always say, you know where to find me now.
Yeah.
And that's the goal. I was like, I hope that people have a regular recovery plan. If you have a regular training plan, you should have a regular recovery plan.
It's so vital. I don't know how you can skip that. So what I've learned is, like, we always talk about like training and nutrition, and then we've always kind of put recovery as this also like this third pillar of health. But like I've had this change in the way I look at it. I can't remember who I was listening to who made me think of it, but like recovery is, and like sleep is the foundation of our health, because it doesn't matter how well your diet is or how much you're training. If you're not getting proper recovery, it's all for nothing. Like your body just won't get the results you're looking for.
I agree. And what I've found, and my background's physical therapy. So
yeah, do you want to tell the folks your background with it?
Well, I was like, I'll get to it. I'm sure I'll start talking and then not stop, and you'll wish you never would have asked. But
you're good.
I started out in physical therapy, and so rehab, right? Everything's rehabilitation. And I think people use the recovery and rehab interchangeably in their heads. Yeah. So they don't think I need to recover until something starts hurting.
Like, so I need to fix what's broken.
Correct. Instead of it being part of your normal routine and your maintenance.
That's so true.
They're not, they wait until, oh my gosh, my hamstrings are killing me. What should I do? Should I stretch? Should I cryo? Should I roll out?
Yeah, it's always
then
reactive.
They start thinking. Exactly.
It's never prehab. It's never like being ahead of the curve. You're seeing that more and more in today's climate. Mm-hmm. But I'm glad you said that. I've never thought about how people associate recovery with rehab, because it's so true. We always do it when it's too late.
Right, which I think prehab's a sexy term now, right?
Yeah,
like we're
it's
hearing
that buzzword.
It is. You're seeing it everywhere, and I kind of dug into it. Background in physical therapy first, duly licensed in massage.
Right.
First CEU class I took in massage was for a technique called the muscle release technique. It's very similar to ART.
What's ART?
Active release technique.
Release.
So chiropractors, good
Active
chiropractors
release.
Do lots of body work.
Like they're doing stuff.
Because guess what moves the bones? The muscles. So when they snap those bones and they adjust you and they put you back in alignment, something moved those bones out.
Yeah.
The movers, the muscles. So good chiropractors, and there's great ones out there, do an amazing job of addressing the muscle imbalances.
Right.
So
yeah. A good chiropractor should have like massage therapists in their office, in my opinion.
And a lot do.
Yeah.
A lot do. And
you
so
see it more and more.
Some people use them for relaxation. If they can relax the muscles, the adjustments go easier. Mm-hmm. Some people use them after an adjustment to continue to stretch before they leave the office to see if they lose their adjustment.
Yeah.
So I've seen it used both ways, and I've worked with a chiropractor before in the past and had similar results.
Yeah.
And it was really a lot of fun, because sometimes as I'm stretching, something adjusts because the muscle relaxed.
Yeah.
And the bones go back into alignment, and the chiropractor checks you, and, oh, you don't need an adjustment now.
Oh man, I started going through like these daily mobility, like because I'm doing this program called 75 Hard by Andy Frisella, who owns
Absolutely.
Summit Superstores and all that, and it's 2 workouts a day. But like realistically, you can't go balls to the wall twice a day every day. You'll hurt yourself. So like you have to modify like the intensity, and for some of my workouts, all I do is just like 45 minutes of mobility where I'm doing like cars. Like, are you familiar with cars? They're controlled articulated rotations. It's essentially, just taking your joints through all their motions.
Functional mobility.
Exactly.
Sure.
Whatever term you want to put on it, right, for marketing. But I've been doing that, and like the idea of the program is it's like a mental toughness program. So it's like just taking the time to commit. And for a lot of us, we all skip rehab, we all skip mobility and stretching and these different things. So from a mental aspect, there's huge gains there to like say, I'm going to take 45 minutes to like take this time and just like work on this. I've had huge gains. My point in all that is sometimes I'll be doing it, and like I always start with prioritizing my spine. I go at the base of my hips and I move my way up my spine. But like I'll be doing like these huge like circles, and I'm just like, oh, these like cricks and cracks and pops, and like everything's just like moving into place, and it feels so good. But for so long, do you remember the myth, like if you pop your knuckles, you're going to get arthritis?
Absolutely.
It's like, what?
Big ogre hands.
Yeah, like
right.
That's not how that works, guys.
Right.
But people associate that with it. But it feels so good when you move through there and things just like pop into place and realign.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing when I'm stretching a client. They come in for low back pain. They're like, my back's killing me. Can you please work on my back? Absolutely. Lay on your back. And they're like, wait, lady, like, I don't know if you heard me, but my back hurts, so I'm going to lay face down. I'm like, that's adorable. I'm the professional. Stay face up. And so what people don't understand in functional movement systems, right? Gray Cook, he talks about the kind of alternating joints, if you will. Like knee is meant to be stable. Your hip's meant to be mobile.
Yeah.
Your low back's meant to be stable. So when we talk about a solid core
like
and
lumbar.
holding, yes, exactly. So the lumbar spine is supposed to be stable. So when people hurt in your lumbar spine, that means you probably have a loss of mobility in your hips.
Right.
So I spend 30 minutes stretching their legs.
Yeah,
and
their IT
hips.
bands and their hip flexors.
Absolutely. It's like, so psoas, rectus femoris, piriformis, all of them start to, and by the time people come to me, they're so wound up and in so much pain. It's not one muscle that's tight. It's one that's led to another, Because when we talk about the mobility joints, I say it's a group project.
Yeah.
You know, one muscle holds, one other one actively fires to move you through your range.
Right.
What if the holder stops holding? Now the mover has to hold and move.
Right. It's going to compensate.
Exactly. And so everybody starts doing the wrong job. And before you know it, just like in school in a group project, one guy doesn't show up to even help you at all. The other ones get ticked off and they're all mad. So you're hurting. All of them hurt. All of them are short and tight. A short, tight muscle can't perform.
Right.
You want to hypertrophy. You want to be stronger. You can't do that if it's already short and tight.
And people are experiencing like referral pain where like they're hurting here, and it's like, well, yeah, I mean, you're hurting here, but it's like actually like catty corner where the problem is. Like
where you hurt is never where it's where it manifests.
Right.
And so it's all connected. So like the little kid song, the hip bone's connected to the knee bone.
Yeah.
Tell them the truth.
Yeah.
All day long.
100%.
So when you start with an issue in one place, if you don't address it immediately, it will manifest in the next joint adjacently.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I found decompression is a huge benefit to that. Like whether it's the inversion tables, or I had surgery on I tore my rotator cuff in my labrum, and I had surgery in 2016. And ever since then, almost pretty much daily, I have a hanging protocol where I just go up to a pull-up bar or whatever bar, and I just hang and just let everything relax. My shoulders are way better than before I got the injury. So like I'll do both grips, like a pull-up grip and a chin-up grip.
Over-under.
Yeah, over-under. And man, the benefits of that are huge. And just like the like my shoulder girdle is just completely opened up, and just for the health of the joint. And it's unrivaled. I feel like it's something everybody can do right now, and it's free.
Absolutely.
Just hang.
I was like, and the same thing with stretching.
Yeah.
I tell people, they're like, how often do you want to see me? When should I come back? I'm like, that depends on you.
Yeah.
If all I did during our 30-minute or 60-minute session was stretch a muscle, and if your pain is gone because the muscle's relaxed, the joint has mobility, the nerve's not being pinched, so you're not getting the referral patterns. If all that's gone, all I did was stretch a muscle.
Yeah.
You go stretch your muscles.
Maintain that.
Go do that thing.
Yeah.
And so my job is to find what's tight, teach you how to stretch it well. And our body, the beautiful thing about our body is the most frustrating thing about our body is it has its amazing ability to compensate.
Yeah.
So if one thing's tight, something else gives more, somebody else picks up the slack.
Yeah.
And so when we're healing the body, and that's in reverse, the same thing. It's like when you stretch, your body's going to go, oh, I don't like the way this feels, so let me just go ahead and rotate out of it And so your body will move out of a stretch, and you're like, look how great my mobility is. I'm like, no, your hamstrings are still trash.
Yeah, you
look
just
at your low back.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's why you're seeing more and more like programs come in there. Dude, the like yoga blocks have been, or like tennis balls have been just great mobility tools because they're like points of reference to where it's like, look, like you're giving here. So if you just do like, even if you're doing your hip, I saw this thing where like if you're on all fours and you put like a yoga block on your hip between you and the wall, like now you're securing that against the wall. Now move your hip and see where you truly are, because now if that falls, that just means you compensated and you moved. You have this direct referral.
Absolutely.
So there's just so many like tricks you can do.
And so you have biofeedback. So one of my favorite stretches for the hip flexor, rectus femoris is a hip flexor and a knee extensor. And so most people, when they stretch their hip flexors, they just get psoas and iliacus, so iliopsoas complex. They just put their hip in extension.
Yes.
If you put that hip in extension and then draw that heel
to your butt,
it's a whole new world.
100%.
But you'll rotate out of it. So I actually do the lunge on a couch because for a lot of my clients, it's not comfortable to kneel.
Yeah.
And I use the arm of the couch to put my pelvic bones against. So that way I know when I pick my heel up, if I rotate off, my pelvic bone's not on that couch.
Yeah.
Then I rotate it out. So there's lots of different biofeedback cues. That way you're aware of your body and the way that it's compensating on your behalf and yet not helping you at all.
Yeah. Well, the key to that is having that like awareness of your body and like learning to listen to your body.
Which is all about slowing down, which is something we don't do great.
No, we don't. Back to that what we were talking about earlier, instant gratification, man.
Exactly.
It's a whole society. It's a societal problem.
Right.
And it's affecting health on like a grand scale. I mean, because when you go into, everybody's looking for a program and then there's always like a goal and there's an end date. But like really, you have to treat your health and your fitness as like this is just a way of being. It's a true lifestyle. It's a way of doing it. Like it doesn't end. Like you set up goals and markers along the way, but it's like once you're into it, like you find new ways to make. Maybe it's not that PR. Maybe it's not like getting that weight on the scale. Like it's like, oh fuck, I want to be able to move my shoulder better, or like I want to be able to do like, I don't know, maybe more push-ups or something. Just like be able to move my body better. I've really transitioned to where I'm so focused on like aging gracefully, and like I really want to live till I'm 100. Like I decide I'm gonna live till I'm 100, but I want to get the most out of those years. I don't want to be a decrepit 100. Like I want to be able to like do cool shit when I'm 100.
Right. I was like, there's 4 stories in there that I feel like
I know, man. My mind is so
tell.
ADD, Megan. Like, I'm just over here. I'm over there.
Look, and this is going to be a very just crazy conversation because that's how I go.
That's good.
I was going to say, starting with one of my clients, similar thing. My favorite thing to do is after I stretch one side is to leave them undone.
Yeah.
So I stretch the right leg and not their left.
Yeah. People have weird things about that. And like,
well, yes, I have some OCD people in my life too. That
it's not even, Megan.
Exactly. Do the other one 3 more times. I'm like, yeah, I'll get it. But I purposely leave them. I said, feel the difference in your leg. They go, yeah, man, it feels great. I'm like, no, stop and explain that to me. What does that feel like? They're like, it feels longer. It feels lighter. I feel like I could move it easier.
Yeah.
But it feels more relaxed, so I feel like I don't want to move it. And so I make them tell me what that feels like.
Yeah.
Because I say the thing is all I've done is stretch muscles. Those muscles cross those joints. Muscles get tight, approximates the joints. Just grinds into that. That's why we end up with arthritis and wearing out our meniscus and everything. It's all because of what I believe is tight muscles. And I'm sure chiropractors would say alignment and everybody else has their thing.
Yeah.
But if I can prevent and make you aware of your body,
and
you can self-correct that, then I'm out.
That's a good way to have that conversation with somebody where it's like there's real physical feedback there in real time. It's like, all right, well, one side's tight, one side's loose. Feel the difference.
Yes, and everyone wants a prescription.
Yeah.
And so they want to go like, how many stretches should I do? How many times a day? And I'm sure trainers deal with this on a daily basis as well. 10 reps, 12 reps, 15, what's the perfect number? I'm like, if I tell you to do 12 reps and you're not stretched out, you need to do more.
Yeah.
And if I tell you to do 15 and you can only get through 5 and you feel like a failure, you're going to stop stretching.
Right.
So what's the number? You get to decide. Let me empower you to listen to your body. And if it hurts to touch your toes because your hamstrings are tight, and I tell you to do some stretches, after 10, can you touch your toes comfortably?
Right.
There's your number.
That's so true.
Go forth.
And it may change as you develop. Like, it's evolving.
And if you lifted the day before and you're more sore, if you're not hydrated, if you didn't sleep, there's 1,000 things that change your recovery and your performance. And so that is about being self-aware.
Yeah.
And applying what you know. My job is to teach you what you should know about your body.
Yeah, I really run into that, especially on nutrition. When you're having that nutrition conversation with somebody, everybody wants to know, what should I eat and how much of it should I eat? It's like, God, like, I'm like, so I always categorize it as like you have like a baker who like needs like a recipe and they need to follow like the directions, but then you have like maybe like a chef or maybe like a cook and a chef, whatever you want to say. But I say like a baker and a chef, but like a chef is just like, oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Oh, that smells good, that feels good. Like you really start to listen to yourself and just like what feels right. You just kind of eyeball it, and that's how I approach it. Like whether it's my training or my nutrition, or like when I'm coaching people, like I'll tell them like, if you need that type of structure, then I'm probably not the coach for you, because like that's not what I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you like what to eat and like how to do things, and like we're learning patterns and we're learning concepts. I'm not going to tell you go eat 30 grams of carbohydrates post training. Like some people want to do that, but it's like that's not me. I'm not going to do that. You need to learn to listen to your body and figure out what it's telling you.
Yeah, because what feels good is what you're going to stay with.
Yeah.
We want to eat food that tastes good. So if I tell you to eat something that you absolutely hate, you're going to hate me, you're going to hate the food, and as soon as you get a chance to get off your, quote, diet,
right,
you're done.
100%.
If you can cook it just slightly differently to where you enjoy it, and you actually choose it and crave it,
yeah,
and start to feel your taste change,
100%.
Different story.
I found it's easier to add things in than to take them out. It's like, let's add some healthy stuff in and like slowly take the stuff out, or like let's slowly start weaning them off. Like I have a client, she loves popsicles, and like like the old school freeze pops, like in the plastic. She loves them shits. She'll fucking sit there and she says she'll have like 10 or 11 of them. It's like, well, you're just consuming all sugar.
Absolutely.
So all right, well, can we do like just like 5 a day? Like, can we get that down to 5? And then now she's down to like 2, and then she barely even has them now. But it was like this slow reduction as we added a few healthy things in.
Well, it's easy to overwhelm. I think whether
Right.
you're talking nutrition, you're talking movement in your body, you're talking health in general, it's easy to overwhelm. That's why people like a program.
Yeah.
That's why they want the prescription. They're like, look, should I be vegan? Should I be paleo? Does it matter? Is keto really that bad? Is keto for me? Is keto not for me?
Let's just
like,
do something.
it's polarizing, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's extremely just passionate about it, which I'm down with.
Yeah.
Like, get passionate, get excited.
When it gets dogmatic.
Exactly. They're like, we can't be friends. I'm like,
Yeah.
then fine.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, people get really passionate about it. I was like, which is true anytime that you really believe something and it's changed. If it's changed you, it's hard not to share.
It must be better for everybody.
Well, I mean,
I'm guilty of that.
I was like, we all are. We
Yeah.
all are. And I mean, I don't care. I always say whether it's food, it's religion, it's love, whatever it is. If you're super jazzed about it,
Yeah.
I was like, new to jiu-jitsu, been doing it for less than a year.
Yeah.
Now I get the memes.
Yeah.
Now I'm like,
They all make
I
sense.
get it.
Oh
Oh my gosh.
Mind
Yes,
blown.
exactly. And then what do I do on, family vacations and stuff? I'm like, oh, you just ticked me off for your naked joke. I'm like, and they're like, you're weird. We're just on a cruise ship. I mean, so it becomes the thing that drives us crazy and it fuels our lives. I was like, but people want a prescription.
Yeah, they
I was
really
like,
do.
They want to be told because they don't want to be wrong, and they don't want to waste their time because time is so precious.
Yeah.
And so my job in there is not to overwhelm them with the 93 things that are wrong with their body.
Yeah.
But let's start with that one complaint you came in with.
Right.
And let's just do these 2 stretches.
Yeah, start somewhere.
Or these 3. And and start small. Because it comes back to hope again.
Yeah.
If I can give you an immediate result, if you can get off that table and your back pain's gone. Now, guess what? I didn't heal your back pain. I didn't change any movement patterns, but I gave you space in your body to move better.
Yeah.
Now you've got to go move well.
You're giving hope. You're a hope dealer. You're a neighborhood hope dealer.
Difference maker.
Difference maker. Yeah, you're the difference maker.
On my business card.
That's right.
A couple people thought it was a little corny when I put it on there, but I got excited. It
like
says
it.
Megan Sanders, owner/difference maker.
Yeah.
Because I can't make the whole difference. I can't make you choose every day. I can't make you decide, but I can show you a way.
Yeah.
And I hope I can give you enough change in your body that you think, I can do crazy stuff when I'm 100.
Yeah.
There's hope. I can do this. You're still going to have to choose it every day, but there is a way.
People need hope. I like that because that title ties into like a larger purpose. You can read that and you can very clearly see that you are driven by like a larger purpose. And that's one of the hardest things, especially like as an entrepreneur and in business, is to find that purpose to drive you, because shit gets hard. And when it does, like if you don't have that, then it's like, what's it for? So that's why so many people quit, right? I mean,
Agreed.
How long have you been in business now?
Sub-Zero for 6 years.
Yeah, Sub-Zero for 6 years. I mean, you've gone through, and you've expanded, which going from 1 to 2 is like, you talk to any business owner, like that's the hardest thing.
And
right?
I just purchased the business 1.5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I never sought out to be a business owner. I sought out to change lives.
Right.
And I thought I had a better opportunity to change more lives more frequently, more often.
Yeah.
And expand that and have a bigger reach.
Right.
If I had the opportunity to do things my way.
And that's what fuels you, right? Like you want to change lives and like add value and like solve problems, like make a difference.
I say I'm a fixer.
Yeah.
So if you come in and you say my back hurts, I'm your girl.
Yeah.
And I can find that and I can fix that. And maybe not all in one session, and maybe not for forever and ever.
Yeah.
But we'll have a plan and a path. What I'm not is when people come in, they're like, oh, I'm just exhausted. I need to have a nice rub down. I am not your girl.
That's not
I have like 4 different business cards for other people that are great at putting people to sleep to tinkly music.
Yeah.
And there's a place for that. There's a place for closing your eyes, exhaling.
Yeah, it all serves a purpose.
Absolutely. Increase circulation, better rest, better sleep, decrease tension. Great.
Yeah.
That is not my passion. And I'm finally at a place of freedom where I can say, I don't like rubbing people.
Yeah.
I don't do the skin rubby dubby lotiony.
Yeah.
Ooh, isn't that nice? No, it's not nice. You know why? Because your hip doesn't move, and I'm going to show you why and how, and we're going to fix that.
Right.
And you're going to like me more tomorrow.
Right.
Well, maybe in 2 days. You might be a little sore tomorrow.
But that's such an important thing to like come to terms with, to realize like what you will and will not do. You know what I mean? Because especially like when you're first coming up, like you want to take everything.
You pay the dues.
Yeah, you gotta do everything. But then it's like, you know what, man? Like you get to a point to where it's like, all right, well, I don't really want to do that, and like that's not where my passion is, and I can help more people doing this. Or also you start, if somebody wants something and it's like they're not serious, you can start like firing clients. It's like, listen, I can't really help you because you're not really serious about this right now. I mean, you just reach this point to where it's like you won't put up with the shit anymore because you know what your purpose is and you know how to get there.
And I've gotten to the point, and then, like I said, it was been very freeing. It was actually another therapist who said, I'm a really good cup of tea. I may not be your cup of tea.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I'm a great cup of tea.
Yeah.
And so I will say that openly the very first visit. I'm like, here's what I'm about. Here's what I want to do. Here's how I'm going to do it. This is either going to be your answer or it's not. And if you decide I am not your hands and this is not your answer, I can still see you in the streets and go, hey, what up, Adam?
Yeah.
Hope your shoulder's doing great. No harm, no foul. I hope you find the hands or the path that works for you.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of amazing places in St. Louis that are doing wellness.
Yeah.
Very cool things happening out there.
Yeah.
You could bleed banks dry on loans with how many cool modalities there are out there if you wanted to put them all in their spaces.
Holy cow.
Right?
You really could.
And so I had to have a real honest conversation when I bought the business about who I wanted to be. And I'm like, I keep saying, Megan, stay in your lane, because I'm still, when it comes to cool stuff, you know, I'm like, squirrel, ooh, that'd be awesome.
It's all out there, man. Yeah.
There's so many cool things that make a difference in the body. There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. There's 1,000 ways to make positive change in your body, from nutrition, from just good sleep.
Yeah.
You know? So there's
so huge.
There's lots of amazing ways to do it. Who am I?
Right.
I'm decreased pain, increased movement.
Yeah.
The end.
That's simple. Once you define that, how freeing was that?
Yeah, it's amazing, because when people are like, do you want to do oxygen therapy? No, I do not.
No.
Yeah. I was like, do you want to add in? No, I do not.
No.
You know?
Yeah, I think in my ideal like recovery space is like the cryo. We talked about like having like a sauna, and then maybe like the contrast baths, and like you have the Normatec pads back here, like the suit, and then maybe like some inversion tables. There's not really like a ton that you need. Like, I don't know, maybe if you wanted to add like a shake plate, that's like small space.
Right, but do you know what your answer is right there?
What's that?
Circulation.
That's
the key, right?
Yeah.
That's the delivery of the good and the out with the bad. Circulation, oxygenation is everything.
Yeah.
And that's why we love cryo. What? Vasoconstriction systemically pulls all the junk out of your system.
Yeah.
Vasodilation when you get out, all that increased blood flow, yummy endorphins on board. Holistic Aleve, 4 to 6 hours, decreased pain. I didn't cure anything.
Right.
People are like, that's magic.
But
I'm like, it's
good.
science.
Yeah.
But it's a 3-minute science.
Right.
And it's not a take your clothes off, get hot, get sweaty, get, whatever for a workout to get the endorphin release. So it's kind of cheating the system sometimes, because I have people that have said, and it scared me to death because I had to get on my educational high horse. She goes, oh my gosh, I can burn 500, 800 calories after cryo. I quit the gym. Yeah. I said, oh, please don't quit the gym. No, I was like, that does nothing for your cardiovascular health, ma'am.
Or just you'll atrophy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was like, but there's a benefit to it, and it helps free you up to keep going hard, to keep doing more the next day, and to keep reaching your goals. And that became a catalyst for me. Yeah. So like I said, I owned it for only a year and a half now, but when it started in 2013, we were the first one in Missouri.
Yeah, but you started it here, right? So
yes.
Even though you bought it, right, I mean, you still very much like...
I'm the one that brought it to St. Louis.
You brought it to St. Louis, like you were boots on the ground, you expanded the team, like you were doing all the work just without like the owner title, but you're still fucking...
Yeah, I was the person because the owners were out of state, so it was me.
The financiers essentially.
Right, got it. And so I learned a lot what was right about the system, wrong, what we could do differently.
That's a whole boot camp.
What order to do it in, all that kind of stuff. And so I learned things the hard way, and definitely got taken advantage of, got used and abused.
Right.
I mean, and all that comes with learning.
Right.
You know, and
that's the whole like entrepreneurial journey. Like you have to learn all of that to like become a good leader, right? Which is, I guess, like that's how you scale a business, is through leadership.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness, that's such a challenge.
I was like, for me, that's the fun thing. I like to read people.
Yeah.
I was like, I hope, and this is case in point. One of my employees just reminded me today. He said, he goes, I want every person to be like this woman that came in. He goes, she started talking about, oh, I guess I'm here to try cryo, and I guess I'm kind of hurting. She tried to explain her path and what she'd been struggling with, and she goes, and I just feel, I said, like less of yourself. And she goes, oh my gosh, like nobody gets it. Nobody. I said, because the pain's stealing away your joy, and then you're getting depressed, and because you hurt, it's you can't sleep, and then you get depressed because you're not sleeping, and anxiety because you're not running, and she's in this, like, you know, at the top of the toilet on the flush. Yeah. She's on her way down. She's spiraling, and she's like, oh my gosh, someone saw me. And just that moment, that connection, that human connection.
Yeah.
Because cryo's a machine.
Right.
It's a button you push. There's no magic behind that.
That's not where the magic is.
No. I was like, I had the opportunity to do cryo, do Normatec, put her on my table, do body work, and invest in somebody's story.
Yeah.
And she's a different person when she walks in.
Yeah.
Because it goes back to that hope.
100%. You know what else is there? Like you have like great energy, right? You're a very positive person, right?
Thanks.
You're trying to make a difference and change lives. And that, like, you radiate that. And like when you're sharing physical space with a human, like that will change your day. And like there's an effect with that, right? I mean, how many times does somebody walk in like the room, they're in a bad mood, and it brings down the whole fucking room, right? The opposite is the same, right? So I think that's like so powerful, just to be around a human being who understands you and sees you and is meeting you where you are. And then like just one, they're helping you like physically, but they're also like you're helping people like in a way like that's intangible that they're not probably thinking about when they come in.
Right. And so when you say purpose,
that's
body
it.
work's my avenue to get into the opportunity, and which is an honor.
Yeah.
To walk alongside someone in their journey.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a journey back to health. Sometimes wellness, sometimes rehab, sometimes they need a safe place. And guess what? We're a hands-off society now.
Right.
I'm like, I wrote my master's thesis on massage and touch and the release of oxytocin and calming factors.
Yeah.
And we don't touch anymore.
We don't.
And I'm a hugger. And so I creep people out because I put my hands on you.
Yeah.
And it's 20 seconds to release that oxytocin. I'm like, 13 seconds, keep counting, 7 more seconds.
And like you can, and we were when we were in Tennessee, like the guy, so Dave Whitley's who we sat down with, and I've heard this before, but like, so we hugged it out at the end. He's like, you're a hugger? I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm a hugger. I don't hug as much around here in the Midwest because the Midwest aren't a bunch of huggers. But when I'm in like LA or somewhere, like I'm hugging everybody, dude. Like, I don't know, just
I always joke I was meant to be European. I was like, because everybody hugs and kisses. Everybody's, I'm like, get over here.
We're so weird here, especially in the Midwest.
Right.
And so he said that, you know, oftentimes people when we greet each other, like we have our defenses up and we'll do certain things and it's kind of like guarded, but it's like with I guess the left hand on the top and the right hand under, it's like you're like heart to heart, and like there's like even a difference in that and like the exchange of the energy, and like you could even feel it, like we went this way and we hugged, and like we went this way and we hugged, and like there was just like it just fit better. It's really weird. So I don't know, man. We're in this society where like we don't like to talk about feelings, and like touching is weird, and this conversation becomes like really like woo woo and fruity, and people don't want to have it.
Yeah, yay hippies.
I'm super hippie. So when did you make that transition of like, because you have a very like traditional medical background, right?
Absolutely,
like
yeah.
Physical therapy, but you've transitioned more like a holistic, lens to things. Like, what was that transition for you? Like, what was that catalyst?
Yeah, I always actually wanted to be a massage therapist. And so the joke is I have to have 2 licenses because I can't keep my hands to myself. So I could like, I'm a professional. It's okay. But I used to rub my grandpa's back. Okay. And he'd say, oh, I'll give you a quarter if you rub my back. I'd be like, hold on, I can make money loving people. This is amazing. Oh, yes, so I was so excited. And when I graduated from high school, I was a little bit young, and my mom was like, I don't think I want my just turned 17-year-old daughter rubbing strange men. Yeah. So how about physical therapy? And, so that's how I went to PT school. But as soon as I graduated with my master's, I ran out, and first thing I did was get my massage license. And my promise in the physical therapy world was, because it's workout, it's pain. I'm putting you in positions your body doesn't like to go. I always say, whatever pain I put you into, I promise I'll take you out of before we're done.
Yeah.
Like,
You'll leave feeling better.
You give me your hurt, and I'm going to fix it before we leave.
Yeah.
And I found out I'm a better fixer
than a breaker.
Yeah.
Destroyer.
Which is why I'm terrible at mixed martial arts.
But now you're doing, now you're doing jiu-jitsu, and you like you're taking
and
boxing matches.
I apologize the entire time. I'm so sorry. Is this okay? Tap early.
Yeah, you're too kind-hearted for that.
Yeah, I'm not tough enough.
That's okay. Yeah. But at least you're getting the work in.
Yes, exactly.
At least you're getting. How long have you been doing jiu-jitsu now? I say a year?
Almost a year.
It can be addicting.
It is, and I don't get to it nearly as much because my gym is about an hour from my home, and I got 2 munchkins, so I got to prioritize being a mom on top of a jiu-jitsu killer.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. But yeah, I just really like the holistic approach because, to your point earlier, like we're in such a society of instant gratification, and unfortunately, the traditional model of healthcare is really sick care. And it's like it's a reactive model and it's a prescription-based model, unfortunately, a lot of times. So everybody wants that pill that's really just a Band-Aid. It doesn't really
address the problem. It
doesn't
covers
cure any root causes of anything. But we're finding more and more, and science is finally starting to back what people have known for generations of people have known this. But the holistic approach, like when you're looking at sleep and you're looking at movement and you're looking at recovery and you're looking at nutrition, you're looking at all of these things, that's where the benefit and the magic really is.
Right. Well, the thing I love about the human body that we touched on it earlier is it has the ability to take care of itself.
Yes, it's so efficient.
We just have to slow down and allow it to do so.
Right.
There's the sleep, right? And the whole idea, we haven't touched on any of this, intermittent fasting, the ways we stop adding things into our body, and our body can do all the things it needs to do. And
yes. Do you do IF?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Yeah.
What's your protocol like?
I was I'm usually a 12 to 6.
Okay.
So, did the keto diet last fall.
Yeah.
Challenged myself to 8 weeks of it, step off of it, see how things moved and changed in my body, and then see how long it took when I'm going back to clean eating with good, healthy carbs, which carbs are allowed and healthy and beautiful.
Carbohydrates are totally fine.
Exactly. They're not the
devil.
Right
kind. You want the right kind.
Exactly. Right time of day, depending on what you're doing, depending on your body type, depending on
what's your activity level. Yeah.
Right. Which is why people get overstimulated when we try to, and they want a program.
Yeah.
Because they don't have time to think and play Frankenstein with themselves.
Right.
They want a professional to tell them.
It's a living document. It's maybe you need more carbs today and not tomorrow. How active were you today? If you weren't very active today, it's okay maybe not to eat a whole bunch today because you don't have that same nutritional need today. Or, you know what I mean? Just listen to your body.
Right. Which all comes back to the slowing down. And paying attention. And when your alarm goes off and you're jumping out the door to get to some place and wrestle some kids and throw them into a car and scream, and did you forget your homework and you're signing papers as you drop them off, the last thing I thought about was, did I pack my shake?
Yeah. We're moving faster and faster as a society, but we're becoming more and more distant. And I feel like what we're learning is that you do need to slow down, and that the real path to health is like a return back to home, which what I mean by that is return back to nature. Which is take your shoes off and go walk in the grass.
Yeah.
Go get sunlight. Get good water. Get the sleep. Move your body. Go out in the woods and go for a walk, because there's actually no benefit to you're walking, but you don't. There's no. I can't remember what the study was, but there's a difference, right? And if you go for a 15-minute walk in the woods versus a 15-minute walk in the city, you get all these great benefits from walking in the woods that you do not get in the city at all, other than just getting steps in.
Sure.
Right. So we're connected. There's this connectedness to nature that I feel like we're trying to return to. And slowly you're seeing this whole health space move in that direction.
Well, I think we already inherently know it. We just don't name it.
Right.
Because when people say I want to go on vacation, what do they want to do? They want to be by an ocean. They want to hear it. They want to They want to be hiking. They want to escape. And when they talk about escaping, we're actually talking about plugging back in, right?
Yeah.
To the source, to where we should be.
Where we should be.
Right.
Yeah.
And so maybe we should be vacationing to work and vacationing to the city and that's a different lifestyle, and we all do what is required, and that's not always an option.
Yeah.
But again, that comes with an awareness.
Yeah. Some of that's the American lifestyle. I mean, we live in a very Puritan society. It's great. I'm sorry I cut you off, man. I'm sorry.
No, keep going.
But no, you're right. It's just the fucking what we do in America. I love working hard. I love living in the land of opportunity. But fuck, man, what is it, this thing where it's you need to work 8 hours a day and you have to go to these 4 walls and sit in this cubicle and do this? It's man, I like to say work is what you get to do, not a place you have to go. And when you're I don't even like what I do. People are like, man, you're always doing all this and that. And it's like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything. Like, I do a lot of shit, but it's like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything because I don't equate it to work. I just equate it to like making change and building, like creating value and just like producing, creating. Like, I don't know. It's just how you look at it.
Which isn't work for you because you enjoy it, which goes back to purpose.
Yeah, goes back to purpose.
Same idea.
It's not always work.
I used to tell my people whenever I was a manager over 5 different physical therapy clinics, if you can love what you do or love who you do it with, it's a win. It doesn't feel like the waste of time that 8 hours can feel like when you're at a job. But if you can love who you do it with and love what you do, you win.
You really do.
You win because then you get to well, for me, what I value is connecting with people. And so if I can connect with my coworkers, they're my family. Like if their bodies are broken, I'm broken.
Yeah.
For everybody who works for me, which most of them who do are, I have 2 triathlons, I have 2 MMA fighters, I have, so they're always broken down palaces anyway.
Yeah.
They're some of the most elite, highly trained pieces of junk when it comes to their bodies, right? Even though they're doing everything right. So if I can't put hands on you, if I can't stretch you, if I can't keep my family all taken care of, I mean, that's home base, right? And so we protect home first, and then we move out from there. And so if I can invest in them and show them that value, I hope that trickles, becomes a ripple.
I strive to have your level of empathy in this world.
Oh, it's really, really painful sometimes.
It's so, but I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum to where like I almost have no fucking empathy. Like
we're a balance in the universe.
We really are. Which is why part of the reason why I started this podcast, because I feel like it's so important to connect with people. And as we kind of talked about, like there's almost like the stigma with connection and having that conversation, and like people feel weird like doing these, like even just hugging. And like for me, I don't have this natural sense of empathy, but like I wanted to start this podcast to connect with people and to start like developing perspective and to like develop that sense of empathy. And it's been a little over a year now, and like I feel like it's working tremendously. But that's why I only do all these in person, because there's something about sitting in a room with somebody and sharing energy.
Absolutely.
And it's so important. Like, you use it or lose it. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not connecting with people, it can become hard to connect with people, right? So the more you do it, the better you get at it. You know what I mean?
Which then we're going to start talking about social media and everything else, where I know a whole bunch of people I've never met. But what I know about them isn't always the truth. It's the truth they've allowed themselves to share.
See.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which then just becomes that I want to sidestep all that and figure out where that came from.
Yeah. I like to meet people in real life, because it's like then I can really get a vibe. It's like, oh, I get it. Like you have like 100,000 followers, but you're super unhappy with your life, and like you're just a person. Like it's really cool to like have those ideals shattered, to like see it's like we're all just people trying to figure this shit out, man.
Absolutely.
And like if you can come from that place, like, that's a huge difference.
Well, everything else is less offensive.
Yeah.
At that point.
Just don't take anything personal.
Well, I talked to one of my clients earlier today about that and said something along the same lines. I said, I get all worked up about this stuff, and I've really got to step back in those moments, because it so wasn't about what they did to me, because it had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
It's how I perceived it, what I took away from it. And the hardest thing is you can't control people's perceptions.
Nope, we all have one. Like this exact experience, you and I we'll have a different recollection of it.
Absolutely.
Just
Absolutely.
how it is.
Yeah.
Have you read the book, The 4 Agreements?
No.
I think it's by Don Miguel Ruiz. And it's a very short book, it's a quick read, but it's very like powerful, just like by implementing like these 4 simple agreements. Off the top of my head, it's like don't take anything personal, never assume anything, always be impeccable with your words. So just like always just like speak positive, like don't speak negative. And then, I can't remember what the 4th one was. Dang.
3 agreements for you then.
I got 3. I know. What is it? Don't take anything personal. Don't assume. I don't know. Either way.
It's a good place to start, because once you get the 3 down, you can always add the 4th.
I can always, always do your best. No matter what it is, always do your best. Yeah. So
that's
like,
my favorite.
Just those 4 simple things. So it's just like very simple concepts can really can radically shift like the way you do things and the way you view the world. And I always say like comparison is the thief of joy.
Absolutely.
Which is like, I don't know, that social media is the greatest fucking dealer
life
of
killer.
Comparison. Yeah,
absolutely. It is the biggest life suck emotionally.
Yeah, man.
That we're all addicted to.
Yeah, we always.
And even when you try to step away from it, you have to step back in to figure out how to.
Yeah.
It somehow gets you still.
Do you remember when the internet first came around and you're like on chat, you'd be like, BRB, be right back. Because like the internet was a place like you weren't ever there. Like you log on. We used to log on. Now we're always on.
Right. Now we're not off.
There's no off. Like now we unplug. Like so weird. But you said it perfect earlier. We plug in to nature, and that's really where we want to be.
Right.
Man, that's powerful. So do you listen to podcasts, or are you like?
If I had time, I totally would.
Yeah, you're so busy.
I don't follow anyone ever.
Like,
not even Joe Rogan, who sends me more.
That's fine.
Sends me more business than anyone else.
Yeah.
Number one question: how'd you find out about cryotherapy?
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan Experience. Like.
That's good for you.
That guy.
Dude. Well, I found like the busier I am or the more I create, I have a hard time consuming things. So I got to really like take that time to like with the 75 Hard, I'm reading 10 pages a day. I try to listen to Audible books. I don't listen to as many podcasts.
I was going to say, I'm Audible and
I
read.
So that's what I wanted to know.
All the time.
What's your jam? Like, okay, so not podcasts, reading. Even better. I fucking love reading. So like, what are you reading? What are you turning to? Like, what do you got? What are some of your favorites? There's so many. And I know I just put you on the spot, but like,
well, it really depends. If I'm really wanting to be entertained, you know, like I love fiction. I love historical fiction. Okay. I'm addicted to World War II.
Yeah.
So the idea of struggle and suffering and how it starts to open us up and show us our true colors.
Yeah.
Same thing with like post-apocalyptic stuff. If you really get into it, oh my gosh, if I couldn't get to the grocery, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit up a Walgreens and get all the anti-inflammatory and all the antibiotics, and I'm going to become the keeper of the. And like everybody's got to. And like I think about who you're going to be. Am I going to still help people? Am I going to still be as giving?
Yeah.
If the resources weren't the same.
Yeah, like a study of like true human
nature. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when we're in a place, do I become more selfish? Who do I protect first?
Man,
what's truest at my core? So anyway, so that's my way of relaxing. Doesn't that sound lovely? And so I have a stack of.
It's a deep conversation.
I know. We don't have enough time on this podcast. I have 10 books by my bathtub.
Yeah.
I'm an Epsom salt soaker every night, sometimes with a baking soda. Right, that's my part of my recovery.
What's the baking soda do?
Oh, alkaline.
Oh, adds alkalinity to the water.
Yeah, so it helps absorption and helps dial everything down. It's a detox. So
okay, that makes sense.
I mean,
whenever I was cutting weight, I always did the Epsom salt with rubbing alcohol to
absolutely.
Like, lose the water.
Yeah,
I'm like I don't want to like do anything on the day of a weigh-in, and that's good for a solid 4 or 5 pounds usually.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the baking soda helps you absorb the Epsom salt. Ooh.
Yeah. So you get that magnesium, right?
Love it. It's so vital.
Yep. So I was like, I'm a soaker, and then I grabbed the book. So I have like "Girl Wash Your Face" by Rachel Hollis. You know, all the girl positive, how to set healthy boundaries, how to stop comparing ourselves, because it's affectionately called "Crazy Girl Head."
Is that what that's called?
Yes, I have a really big case of crazy.
Terminology.
Right. One of my best friends gave that to me. He's like, "Hey, turn off the crazy girl head."
Yeah.
And move forward and think logically through this. And it's always a call back to myself. You have to have a close enough relationship with someone for them to be able to call you a crazy girl.
Yeah.
Because you never call a girl crazy.
It's a bad move.
No.
I learned that one.
Because then you find the violent side of the girl. And then we end up acting crazy.
So the economy of the human.
Yes, exactly.
Are you like an evening reader? Do you typically read before bed?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
I have a hard time. For me, I wake up in the morning and like I'm good to go. Like boom. By the end of the day, I'm so fucking drained. It's like a battery. Like I'm full, and then by the end of the day, I'm done. I try to read in the evening, and I just end up. It's a struggle. Sometimes I've had to like get my 10 pages in at the end of the day. It is so hard for me. But do you read nonfiction and fiction in the evening?
Yes.
Okay.
Depending on kind of what I need, what I feel like I need for that day.
Okay.
Do I have the energy to dial into something?
Yeah.
And I call it marinating. So sometimes if it's something nonfiction of self-help or you know any of that kind of stuff, and I grab it, and I'm a 2 or 3 page maybe.
Oh, really?
So I sit there and I read that again. I'm a highlighter and I'm a note taker in my books.
You're very active reading.
And I circle and I think, what did I mean by that? Why did I grab onto that line? Is that something important?
Yeah.
Maybe I should think about that. So I marinate on that for a while.
Yeah.
Decide if that has value or doesn't have value. If that really applies to me, why did I think it applies to me?
Yeah. Very introspective with it.
Oof.
It's a good way to go, though. I mean,
there's a lot happening.
Some people are scared to do that. I've asked people, like, have you ever gone floating before? Like, you're just laying there? Like, I'm like, what do you, like, it blew me away to figure out that people are scared to be alone with themselves.
Yeah, we don't know how to be with ourselves.
Yeah.
One of my friends swim laps, worst part of their day, because it's silence.
I love it. Oh, my goodness.
If you're happy plugging in with yourself and you like asking the questions, great. Otherwise, it's uncomfortable. And let's be honest, there's times we're willing to lean into that, and there's times we can't deal with it just yet.
Right.
You know, and it takes a little bit of approaching to get inside our head.
It takes practice to go into those depths.
One of my favorite relationships growing up, a guy that really challenged me as far as how he was raised versus I was raised. Our beliefs were opposite in every possible way. He said, "Man, you've got to get comfortable with the questions."
Yeah.
You've got to get comfortable with questions. I like to have a plan. I like to have a vision. I like to have a clear-cut goal. I can push. I can drive. if I know what I want. And so I like answers.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things in life you might not ever get an answer to.
A lot of uncertainty out there.
And he's like, I'd rather have doubts and questions and concerns and be asking than think I know it all, because isn't that where learning comes from?
Right. Yeah, the moment you think you know it all.
Oh, you're immediately wrong.
There's just so much more I don't know than I possibly
Which is exciting, because that means there's so much more to learn. Yeah. Now that makes life big. Yeah. That makes I say it's the mystery. Yeah. It makes it exciting, because what's next?
100%. You know what's been super freeing is realizing that it's okay to not know something, and to be wrong. Like, it's okay to be wrong. Sometimes you have bad information, or it's okay to change your mind. That was one of the biggest things, actually, I've actually probably gotten away from, just like, as an example from Joe Rogan, is that he's totally cool with just like, yeah, like, I got new information and I realized that this is better information, so I changed my stance on that. Like, we're ever evolving. We don't have to be this static thing.
It was like the power that we all hold. I feel like my best power is my power to choose. Yeah. I can choose if I want to go that way, and after I've made that choice, if I don't like it, I can choose to go another way. Yeah. I can choose to believe you. I can choose to disagree. I can choose to value your opinion. Yeah. I can choose to think you're crazy. I get to choose. 100%. And like I said, I get to admit when I'm wrong and make a new choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to live without assumption. I feel like that is, because so much like heartbreak and like disappointment comes from having expectation and assuming. Right, so
expectation's a whole other word.
Maybe expectation was a better word. Like, I try to live without expectation, right? Because it just leads to heartache and failure. It's just like, just let things be what they are and accept them for as they are.
I'm such a believer in potential. So my expectation, my heartbreak comes from looking at you, seeing something beautiful, inherently and powerful in you that I want to just grow and invest in you to watch you become, and then when you don't, I'm a difference maker. I'm not the whole difference. Yeah. Not my circus, not my monkeys. And so it's been really hard for me to set boundaries, because, like I said, the gift of having people on my table, I call it my horizontal bar stool. The things that come out of people's mouths, sometimes they just need a safe place to share. Yeah. And I can be that too. Now, if you don't talk, I will. Let's just say that.
That's okay.
I don't do quiet very often. If I have the opportunity to connect with someone, then I capitalize on that. Yeah. But sometimes that ends up being as much therapy for me as it does for them, because I have amazing relationships with the people that surround me. And that's a gift. If you can come on my table and cry, that means I'm a safe place. That is all I can ask for, which goes all the way back to the very beginning when we talk about healthcare. The one thing I wish would change about healthcare is someone's ability to sit and listen to you. Because even if they're just coming with knee pain, they are terrified of what's going on with my knee. Because people, WebMD is the joke, right? Don't ever WebMD knee pain,
Dude,
you know? Because exactly, you're like, if they're going to have to chop it off, is it cancer? Is it like, we assume the worst? Exactly, immediately. So we don't know what's going on in there. And all they want is someone to listen and go, it might not be that. Yeah. They want someone to tell the whole story to, because a doctor wants to know if he has to do surgery. A chiropractor wants to adjust. A therapist wants to rub or stretch. Like, we all have the thing we've been trained to do. Yeah. But to sit down and listen and have them go, and now I can't get on the floor with my grandkids. Yeah. And now I can't watch the grandkids. So now my son has to find somebody to watch the granddaughter. And now he's not going to be able to pay this. And it all came from her knee.
Just this cascade
effect. And she just assigned a whole bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with her knee.
Yeah. We're weird like that. Humans are weird like that. There's a book called Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. and I haven't read it, but the synopsis is essentially...
They don't eat meat?
Well, they live in the now.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, all right, well, a zebra, they're only at like a heightened state when they need to be. So if a lion's chasing them, they stress and they freak the fuck out and they run away. And then when there's no lion, they just go back to living. And they don't live in this constant state of thinking about what could go wrong. You know what I mean? Of like, oh man, whereas today, where if, I don't know, you said the wrong thing in a business meeting, you're going to marinate over that for the next like 12 to 24 hours. And it's going to stress you the fuck out over something that didn't even, it's done, it's over.
Right. That's, I'm so nervous to be here today and having a conversation like, they're going to get this on camera. They're going to hear my voice. Like, they're going to be able to go back and say, now Megan said,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to misspeak.
It's all right. I misspeak all the time. I sound like an idiot. Probably 95% of the time.
Then we can keep talking.
It's totally fine. So people are only going to worry about what I'm saying. They're going to be like, Adam, you fucking retard. You fucking retard. I don't know why. Yeah. That's not politically correct. I shouldn't say that. I don't care.
It's your podcast.
It is my podcast. So let me ask you this, because I think I would probably be, and you've already kind of glossed over it a little bit, but I would probably be, I don't know if this is the word, remiss. I don't know. But I probably wouldn't be doing anybody any justice if I sat down with you and I didn't ask you to spell me out the benefits, because you said it's like holistically, right? Like,
sure.
What are the benefits that people are associating with or getting with cryotherapy? I mean, I didn't want this to be like the focal point of our conversation,
sure.
but
yeah, but it is part of what I do.
It's a huge part of, like, I mean, this is like the foundation of the business that we're in now, right?
This is the fun part. It started with cryo.
Yeah.
And cryo was slow on the uptake in Missouri.
Yeah.
Because I always think everything starts on the coast, works its way in. By the time it gets to the Midwest, it's been every place for 30 years. And we're like, what's this newfangled thing? And we have no idea what it is, and everybody's terrified of it.
Yeah.
My spiel always started with, cryo is hard to explain in the sense, you sound like a used car salesman. You're like, it's going to help with blood flow. It's going to help with inflammation. It's going to help with...
Sounds like snake oil.
Yeah, and yet, and still, and again. And it's only 3 minutes.
But wait, there's more.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what it feels like. But the huge, big, long, science-y jazz into my 30-second elevator speech is I put you in a dry ice sauna. Gasiform vapor. Liquid nitrogen converts into gasiform vapor, swirls around you, and make it so cold so fast your body can't shiver, it can't get goosebumps enough to try to protect itself or warm itself up. So it goes into fight or flight. And so we tap into that CNS response. That pulls all the blood flow from the periphery and toward the core. So it pulls the inflammatory proteins, lactic acid, things that are muscle waste, if you will, after a workout. We help filter that out of your system. In there for 3 minutes, usually hanging out between 225 and 250 negative degrees Fahrenheit.
Right. And that doesn't hurt because there's no direct contact to the skin with like water or anything.
Correct. It's dry. It's just that same idea between a steam room and a sauna. You know how you can sit in a sauna for 15 minutes and it's warm?
Yeah.
But then you don't start sweating for 10, 15 minutes. You walk because the humidity in a steam room.
Yeah.
You walk in and you feel like you can't breathe.
Yeah.
You're drinking your air. Mm-hmm. Same idea. So it's dry in there, and the cold doesn't penetrate in any more than a millimeter of your skin.
Okay.
So it's not like putting an ice pack or submerging in an ice bath.
Right.
Therefore, it's more tolerable. I'm not trying to get the cold from the outside in.
Right.
I'm using the cold to start a process from the inside out.
Right.
So it's a completely different process. There's no comparison.
Yeah. The buzzword these days is a nice little biohack.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It is a little biohack. It's great. And then you can take your activated charcoal and your CBD and call it a day. You know?
I feel like that when I talk to people about CBD or like cannabis and just like, God, it's just such a complex conversation. But I'm just like, I think if you have like a conversation about adaptogens or anything, like with anything that helps multiple things, it sounds like snake oil. But again, it just goes back to the body constantly trying to find homeostasis. And some of these things that we can kind of implement, it meets a number of deficiencies. Like maybe one thing will cause a number of things. You know what I mean?
It's a catalyst.
Exactly. Like we talked about magnesium. Like that's one of the number one deficiencies in people is magnesium. And that is responsible for over like 300 bodily processes. So it's like, that's the root cause, but you may be experiencing this issue or this issue, and this person may be experiencing this issue and this issue, but it's just like, hey man, try this. I promise it will probably help with something.
Right. So wouldn't it be a no-brainer just to get some more magnesium somewhere in your diet, right?
Yeah.
Same idea behind cryo. So you said it correct when you were talking about adaptogens and everything else, and a catalyst and homeostasis. So coming back to that, whenever you step back out, you vasodilate, and all the oxygen-rich blood shunts back out to your muscles. So better oxygenation, better perfusion, better pliability of tissues, better performance.
Yes. Because
it's actually getting the nutrients it's needed. The oxygen needs to perform. So you can do it pre or post-workout. But everybody goes, the 500 to 800 calories. Talk to me about that again. And everybody thinks they burn it in 3 minutes in there. No, sorry. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
It's the fact that your core temp is going to be raised trying to get back to homeostasis.
Right.
That burns the excess calories. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So just to recap maybe in layman's terms so I understand it. So essentially we're applying like an extreme cold to the surface, which is going to then cause like a rush of blood to kind of draw from the surface and go to our core, right? And then that's going to cause because of that, you're getting like more like refreshed blood. Essentially, it's better oxygenated. It's when it rushes back to the surface when you get out, and all that blood goes from the core back to your limbs and back to the surface. Then you're getting like a fresher, cleaner blood, essentially, which is doing all of this repair work.
Just a super oxygenated blood, yes.
Okay.
And so your endorphins are on board, and that's where the anti-inflammatory
properties come into
yes.
effect. Is that also activating like heat, cold shock proteins during that process?
Yeah, I was like, so it was actually on Joe Rogan's Experience that Rhonda Patrick was on there, and she wrote like a 30-page paper.
Yeah,
there's like
she's so smart.
I know, like neuroepinephrine and alpha-nicotine factor and all these things. I'm kind of like, I'm just a physical therapist, not a biochemist, you know. So, but I'm glad that there's people out there who can look at it and bring the science behind it, so the people who are like, so what's this cold thing you want me to do?
Yeah.
I'm like, trust me, it's good.
Yeah. I do the sauna a lot because of all the information she's given out about it and just all the benefits.
The infrared?
I use just
regular.
I just use a regular sauna. From my understanding, I know the infrared is supposed to maybe like penetrate a little bit deeper, but
depending on wavelengths, far, near infrared. Yeah.
Yeah, but from my understanding, I don't know if there's like a much of a greater benefit between that and just a regular sauna. I don't know. I like a regular sauna.
Yeah, I haven't set up. I have an infrared in my house, so I just know I love it.
Yeah, you like it?
I sweat like a beast, and I move and I twist, and it opens me up. And
which is, how much are those? Are the infrareds more expensive than the regular saunas, or is it vice versa? Or are they about the same?
I haven't priced out a regular one.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I have a 2-person infrared. It was about $5,000.
Oh shit.
So
yeah, but those things are so nice. You got the music and lights and everything in there. Oh, dude, they're so nice. They're so sweet.
I'm hoping at our new location in Chesterfield to add infrared. Yeah. And we have a couple other sexy things up our sleeves.
That contrast is just so huge. I mean, people get so many benefits from that. I mean, gosh, just implementing that one modality will change lives.
Hope so. Which is the whole point.
Yeah, you're killing it. You're killing it, Megan.
That's all I'm hoping.
So, all right. Well, I want to be respectful of your time. This has been such a fantastic conversation. You're so worried, and we're fucking crushing it. No. So, tell the people, how they can, check out the facility, and, if they wanted to get a hold of anybody here, like, what's the info? Like, this time is yours. Like, if there's anything you want to plug or promo or anything like that.
So subzero-wellness.com is our website. That's where you find us. We're on Facebook. Subzero STL and Subzero Wellness Chesterfield. So those are our 2 locations. The Chesterfield location, hoping to open our new location by November 1st, if not a couple weeks earlier.
Okay.
And we'll have 3 therapists on staff. So we'll be offering Thai massage and Reiki and some energy work. Plugging in there, which is not my gift or my specialty, but I'm surrounding myself with people who are strong where I'm weak. Yeah. So hopefully we can tap in to body, mind, and soul, and like I said, make a difference.
You know what would be cool, and I don't know if the space would allow for it, but if you had like a big open space and you could host like, maybe not like all the time, but like yoga or different things there, just like really bring like this holistic approach.
We have a group meditation that we've been doing at the St. Louis location, and our next one is September 7th.
Oh, dope.
And so, in the afternoon and 2 o'clock, I want to say.
Oh, you meditate? Are you leading it?
No, I'm not leading it, but yes.
Okay.
I've done it every month but one that I've made it here. So we
how
love
often
it.
do you meditate on like a regular basis? Mm-hmm. Okay. How do you like to meditate?
I was like, I'm an app girl.
Oh, okay.
I like it when people tell me what to do. So I listen to the voice on my app, and I love it, called Headspace.
Headspace? Okay.
Love Headspace.
Who is Headspace? Is that... what's his name?
I don't know. He's like either English or Australian or something. I just like the way he says the word bones.
Oh, okay.
That's great.
Yeah, I can't remember who makes that, but that's supposed to be like a really good one for sure. And it's just like, they're like 2-minute?
I was like, you can do 2, 3, 10,
Oh, you
15.
can set the time?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
And of course, the longer it gets, the less he talks.
Yeah.
Kind of checks in every once in a while, brings you back around, making sure you're staying focused, not getting lost in your head.
Yeah. It's just amazing how powerful just like rechecking in with yourself and just breathing, it would change everything.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah, it's powerful. Well, Megan, thank you so much again. I think, is that it? Do you have anything else promo? Plug?
I'm good.
Nothing?
I'm happy. You know where to find me.
All right. Right on. All right, everybody. Until next time.